everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz. And joining me here in just a bit will be Rene Borba. I appreciate you waking up with me. Kicking it off here from Roswell, New Mexico at 6:31. It's January 6th. What a day. Yesterday it was. It was my beautiful wife's birthday. And it was a relaxing day, to say the least. But it was nice to hang out with her and her fam and just kind of kick back a little bit. Had to work. Had a late night shift. But we got it done. So shout out to her. But Jay, some stuff happened yesterday. A couple things that we'll get into right away. We're gonna go through the coaches that were fired. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna set up our lineup, our board for the playoffs on who we trust the most, who we don't trust at all, and who we think is kind of just playing right there around the borderline on who we think actually has a chance. And Tim Foley will be joining us at 7 a.m. to be talking about the college football playoffs and to give us his picks and what we should be looking for so that way we can make sure we cash our bets. But reported yesterday by the Pat McAfee show, these are the coaches that have been fired so far as of last night in the National Football League, starting with Brian Callahan, which happened earlier in the season, if you guys remember correctly. That's Tennessee Titans coach. Brian Dable also fired earlier in the season from the New York Giants. Raheem Morris just got fired yesterday. Kevin Stefanski got fired yesterday. Pete Carroll got fired yesterday. And Jonathan Gannon from the Arizona Cardinals also losing his job. Good luck to those boys finding their next position. For some of those coaches, I don't know that it's going to be very difficult. And as I say that, let me bring in, you know who it is. It's the guy with the buys. The guy with the tries. The one with the broad chest. The one. The only. John Barba. Johnny.
Yo.
Morning, bro.
What's going on?
Oh, you sound good. Sound good as ever. How was yesterday? How was your Monday?
It's good Monday. Solid Monday. On to Tuesday. So build on
Here we
Monday.
go.
You know, gotta carry over the momentum to Tuesday.
Amen. JB, these are the coaches that got fired yesterday, or some of the coaches that got fired yesterday. Of course, Callahan and Brian Dable got fired earlier in the season. Which one of these fires stood out to you the most from yesterday here?
I think there's a lot of things in the air, a lot of mixed feelings about the Stefanski fire. I think it was right, but it is what it is. Like to do what Stefanski kind of did in his stint with the Cleveland Browns was above average coaching for sure, especially in Cleveland. So of course the whole thing with Shador and all that kind of stuff, like the theory, you know, conspiracies, this and that about Stefanski. I think he's still going to be a head coach candidate for sure. Like if he took this team to the playoffs, won Coach of the Year, I think he's still going to be a heavy head coach candidate in the right situation. If he goes to like the Falcons, I could see that. I don't know. Even the Giants.
That would be nice.
The Giants are going to get healthy next year. They got a left tackle. They got a number one wide receiver. They got a quarterback who put up some good numbers this year, a young quarterback, and of course, Cam Scatterbo. So I think he's got some things to work with over there, and then that front is no joke. So those are some good spots I can see him going into. I wouldn't want to put him in a Raiders situation, Titans situation, even the Cardinals, because I don't know, what's up in the air with Kyler Murray and all that. But I think he's still going to be a pretty popular head coach candidate. And if not, I think he would be an offensive coordinator, for sure. But I think that's something that kind of catches my eye just because it's the most interesting. Because what Stefanski did in Cleveland was it's not a fluke what he did. Took the team to the playoffs a couple times. You win Coach of the Year, and you're doing all this in Cleveland at the end of the day. So that kind of says enough. Pete Carroll has been bad for even before he got on the Raiders. I think he's been bad. Jonathan Gannon, um, I would rather have him as a coordinator. The situation just wasn't very good in Arizona, but for me, it's Stefanski.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you too. I think Stefanski is the hottest commodity coming out of this. Um, I think Atlanta to you the most intriguing job right now? It feels like it, right? Because they got that young core there offensively. They're building something on the defense. It does feel like it's the most intriguing. The only thing I guess is that you don't necessarily have a franchise quarterback in Atlanta,
That's
opposed to
true.
like what you got in New York with Jackson Dart, right?
Yeah, and I think with even with New York, man, I think that's intriguing because you got Malik Neighbors, you got a couple other guys you can throw to, um, running game, a left tackle, like that's what you need, and then a rookie quarterback who made a good impression, and then you got a good front four, a good you got Pro Bowlers along that front four. Bill Carter's going to be a Pro Bowler eventually. You still got Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, like you got some studs on the D line. That wasn't really the
Yeah.
issue. So if you can just tighten up some of the things defensively, get the secondary a little bit better, and just progress with Jackson Dart, I mean, that might be. But then you got Bijan. Bijan can take you far. Bijan can take you really far, with the
He's
right.
kind of fitting. He's kind of fitting for Stefanski's system, right? Like if we look back at what he's been able to accomplish, it was whenever Nick Chubb was at his peak. Not James Cook, but Dalvin Cook was
Dalvin
at his
Cook.
peak.
Yeah. Yep.
um, Bijan
I
Robinson, another elite running back, you would assume that he will have some type of success. The only thing that will be unfortunate for Kevin Stefanski is that he'll put himself yet again in a situation where he's just trying to find a quarterback. He was delivered. Deshaun Watson having all those off-field issues never has resurfaced from it, which is that's starting to kind of work its way into the whole conversation on whether or not or how Cleveland is going to handle next year. I did see like yesterday there was a lot of folks kind of or not a lot of folks, but their GM Barry came out in his press conference and he didn't necessarily say Shador Sanders will be the starting quarterback. He more said that it's going to be a QB competition going into next year's season. But
that's
what would you think? I mean, I've been saying Robert Saleh needs to go to the Cleveland Browns, but what are you thinking is the best fit for Cleveland as of right now?
Man, that's a tough one.
It's too early, huh? It's too early.
It's you
You
got a
gotta sit
couple
back and think
guys.
about that.
Of course, Brian Flores. I think he would be a option. I think he's a top candidate for all these spots, to be honest. And then what he brings, the type of OC that he brings with him. It could be a package deal with like him and Josh McCown because McCown's been coming up in a lot of conversations as an offensive coordinator lately too. So Salah's always good. McDaniels maybe as an OC. There's a lot of options up in the air right now. It's for me, it's just too early.
Yep.
I know Matt Nagy's going to be getting some coaching
Little rub.
opportunities again, offensive coordinator on the Chiefs. Um, do I like that?
Which
I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I
I
explain
don't know.
that one. Explain that one,
Yeah, the
please.
Matt Nagy
Explain that
deal.
one.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Matt Nagy needs to go into a situation where he's already got a quarterback established. Like maybe if he
Yeah,
goes to the
but
Titans, I don't know.
Was Matt Nagy? He was coach whenever he was offense
Bears.
coordinator whenever the Chiefs got to the Super Bowl the year before, right?
Uh,
I think so. Because I was about
the
to
last
say,
2 or 3
what
years,
has he
yeah,
done to
3 years or
deserve another coaching opportunity? But Aaron Melendez asked right here, Renee, how would you feel about Kevin going to Dallas if Eberflus out? Kevin Stefanski, offensive mind, so it wouldn't go. But I get what we're doing here. I get what we're doing. I get what we're doing.
just
But
like
it's
Cowboys just
unfortunate,
never
Matt.
know.
Yeah, I'm shocked Matt Eberflus hasn't been fired yet. I'm surprised he hasn't been added to that coaching list that's been fired. But you know, I was feeling good about Brian Flores becoming our DC, but the more and more that his name just starts to circulate around a head coaching job, it feels like that is not it's not realistic. So it's gonna be interesting what Dallas does on the defensive side of the ball, starting by their leader. And then after that, then we can go after Max Crosby, right? At least that's what our delusional brains are telling us as
Yeah,
Dallas
that's what
Cowboy
your
fans. But
delusional
that's
brain
okay.
is telling me.
That's a Delulu situation that I'm in. It's okay, JB. That's part of it. That's part of it.
JB, let's move on from the coaching search though, and let's talk about. There's this board that I want us to fill out, JB. Let me pull it up for us real quick. Let's see. Can you see it here? You see this here, JB?
Yeah. I just
All
see
right,
a
so we're gonna
whiteboard.
fill out. Okay, it's a whiteboard. We're gonna fill this out together. What it is our SOL Super Bowl chart. There's 4 sets to this board. The left corner or the left top will be can win the Super Bowl. Top right, who would surprise me? Bottom left, who would shock me? And then bottom right, absolutely no chance at winning the Super Bowl here, JB. So we're just going to go down this and fill it out. What side would you like to start with? Would you like to start with the sides that said, this team absolutely has no chance whatsoever to get to the Super Bowl, but it's going to be fun watching them in the playoffs? Do you want to start with that one, or do you want to just go straight into it and tell me who you think are actual Super Bowl contenders?
Let's start off with absolutely no chance.
Absolutely no chance?
Let's do that.
All right.
No, maybe that kind of spoils it. Maybe let's go with the Super Bowl. Who can win the Super Bowl? Yeah.
Who can win the Super Bowl? Okay. All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hold on. Be patient with me real quick. All right, we're gonna start off. Who can win the Super Bowl?
Who can win the Super Bowl? So,
All right. Well,
we can start off on the NFC side. NFC side is a lot easier.
NFC side. All right.
NFC,
Let's go. Let's
NFC.
start. Let's name them.
Okay.
So can
Rams.
win the Super Bowl. We're gonna start off with the NFC. Who can absolutely win the Super Bowl on the NFC side?
Rams.
Okay, I'm
You
in
could say
agreement with you
Eagles.
there. Rams and Eagles.
And I think you got to put in the Seahawks for sure.
Dude, I don't know though. I think I might give you. Can I give you a little bit of pushback right there? So
Is it about the
you're
Seahawks?
solely you're thinking. We're thinking like your mindset is that the Seahawks, because of their defense, you think their defense can get them all the way down there?
I think the defense. I think the running game. And if Sam Darnold can put together 2 good games to get to the Super Bowl, why not? Why not?
Yep.
We've seen lesser quarterbacks do it. And I like what they got around Darnold. Everything.
You do. I can't trust. I don't know that I can trust Sam Darnold. Like him only putting up 13 points against the San Francisco's defense there to close out the season. That's a little worrisome, don't you think?
It is. But I think, Seahawks have killed the Panthers. They beat the 49ers. They've beaten the Rams. I know the Rams got the Seahawks kind of got bailed out in that game a little bit. But maybe you could take those out. Maybe the Seahawks, if you want to put them in the next category, you can. But I think they got what it takes. Sam Darnold just has to be a game manager, man. Literally just has to be a game manager. Don't turn the ball over. Be efficient in the red zone. Like, what really
is telling us they're all game managers right now. So I guess
they
it's
are.
the battle of the best game manager in the league right now.
But what bothers me about Sam Darnold is his red zone efficiency inside like the 5 or 10 yard line. He missed a wide open touchdown to Charbonnet, I think, in the flat that first drive, and then they didn't get no points. So, and that reminded me that every person that saw that game, watched the Detroit Lions Vikings game last year, literally was thinking the same thing. Oh, nothing's changed. So that does kind of worry me. Maybe the Seahawks I would put in the next category, and then I might put the Eagles in the Super Bowl category.
Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna put an asterisk on the Seahawks. We'll come back to that one because I feel like that one deserves a little bit more of a conversation there.
I think, man, if I'm saying this about the Seahawks, I got to be fair and put the 49ers in the next category as well.
No, you can't. Hold on. In the next category?
Yeah, in the next category.
Aaron said, "Let's go, boy. We appreciate the Eagles' love." the thing about the Eagles is you can't count them out.
You
Like
can't.
history has shown us that this team just wins,
And
especially
history
in a
is
situation where, like, for example, if you take Cam Newton's quote that we're filled with a playoff full of game managers, and JB just said a week ago, Jalen Hurts is the what?
a game manager.
I try to set you up there for a lip. John Borba a week ago said Jalen Hurts is the smartest quarterback in the football league.
Oh
He's the
yeah.
most trustworthy at
With
managing
all
a
my
game.
takes,
And,
man, I get a little
and
bit
if we
lost.
go, if we look at these as teams as all game managers, I mean, it would be hard to say that Jalen Hurts isn't the best game manager out of all these guys. And that's not a shot at Jalen Hurts because he's obviously
But the thing is, with
the part that
Jalen,
comes
Jalen Hurts in the big games,
can
he's
win you a
excelled in
game.
the big games,
Can win you a game.
and that's just
Exactly.
what history shows us. So we got to go by what
Yep.
history shows us. We can't predict the
Amen.
future. We got to go by what history is showing us. So I would put Jalen Hurts obviously in the Super Bowl contention in the NFC that can win it all. Rams.
Okay, do you want to go AFC now, or do you want to stay on the NFC and fill it out as we go?
Let's stay in the NFC.
Okay, so who would surprise me in the NFC?
Obviously, first one has got to be the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, the 49ers, the one thing that concerns me, JB, is just like the injuries feel like they're going to catch up.
Yeah.
It's a defense giving up. It's a bend but don't break defense, and like I mean, you've been a part of bend but don't break defenses. Like I've been a part of bend but don't break defenses, and it's not fun because a lot of the time, whenever you're playing a good team, I mean, it's going to get broken. Then you have to solely rely on your offense, and we kind of saw what that looked like last week against Seattle, where it felt like a playoff atmosphere, less possessions, and it just felt like the offense could never get it going. Of course, they were missing Trent Williams, but they'll be getting him back this weekend. But the one thing that concerns me still is it's the fact that it's a hamstring injury. Like a hamstring injury doesn't necessarily always feel like they just heal overnight, right? And it's only been a week since it's happened. I mean, we look at like Devontae Adams who had a the same similar injury, right? Hamstring injury. Now, of course, everybody heals differently, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But what Devontae Adams has been out for 3 weeks now,
Yeah.
and even then, people are still talking about
He's
how
running.
it's gonna be interesting how he comes off the line and whatnot. So
I think it'll be fine.
no concerns. No concerns.
Because I saw him running. Like if you're running like that, I think you're gonna be fine. Like he's
Okay.
had a good month. He'll have a month to recover. I don't think it was too serious. I think he might have tweaked it, but not enough to where it's like, this is gonna be 6 weeks. Usually a
Yeah.
hamstring is a good solid 6-7 weeks. So I don't think it's like that. And then for Trent Williams with his hamstring, as long as you don't got to run on that much, if you can kind of just get in your stance and block, I think you might be okay. It's a little bit different with offensive linemen, I feel like.
Brother,
You're not sprinting.
we're
See, like,
here.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. For me, I feel like that would be a little
That's
bit
heavy on
different.
the tush right here. That's
No,
no.
it's gonna
Maybe
you're
I'm
gonna
tripping. Maybe I'm tripping.
you're gonna feel it, but I don't know. I think
All right, so we got Niners there,
yeah. As
and then who
far
else would surprise
as
you?
that goes,
I think that's the only one that would
that's it.
surprise me.
Yeah, I think that's it. 49ers would surprise me just because of their injuries. And Brock Purdy, he sometimes
I
will.
guess the Bears, would the Bears surprise you?
No, that would shock me. That would shock me.
The Bears would shock you.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Let me add that one. Let's add that to shock.
This whole season, like Bears are just playing out,
Packers
No.
shock me or
No.
absolutely no chance?
No chance.
At all.
No chance.
Wow. All right. So Bears would shock me, which to me that tells me that's a better chance than absolutely no chance at all. So we're putting the Packers at absolutely no chance.
Absolutely. No chance. And then
Damn.
throw the Panthers in there as well.
No chance for the Panthers as well. Which a lot of Panthers stands were coming out because they did beat the Rams earlier in the season. So
That's great.
People have a little
do
bit
it
of
twice.
faith.
You don't want to see a team
good luck.
twice sometimes, and the Rams are a team that you probably don't want to see twice.
Now imagine seeing them 3 times. Ooh, the Bears are in for a rude awakening, it feels like. Now, JB, let me ask you the next team here. All right, so we got San Francisco, Philly, and then you got Green Bay, Chicago, Carolina, Rams, and Seattle. That's it, right? That's the slate there for the
Yeah.
NFC.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that's
so
good.
who can win the Super Bowl? Rams, Eagles, Seahawks with a bit of an asterisk because they're between can win a Super Bowl and would surprise me. The only reason that we believe they would win a Super Bowl is because of their defense. Now, what would make us slide them over to the who would surprise me box? Well, it's no other than Mr. Sam Darnold, who Dan Orlowski on ESPN on the national waves of the television said Sam Darnold is a top 10 quarterback. Now, that's a conversation that's up for discussion. Do you care to comment on what Dan Orlowski said
Yeah.
about Sam
I
Darnold?
mean, Dan Orlovsky's got good QB takes, and he's always kind of been on Darnold's side and even like McCarthy's side and stuff. But I don't agree with it. Maybe the last 2 years, maybe a fringe top 10 QB. Um, Collectively, I say collectively, he's probably closer to top 10, but top 15, I will say he's top 15. Top 10, I don't know if I can give him to that this year. So he's fringe the past 2 years, fringe top 10, top 12, top 15 for sure. I think Dan Orlovsky is just like, I don't know. I was watching
why
the
are you
commentary.
sound like you're mesmerized by Dano?
Yeah, no, he gives some good takes. Like he knows football, but LaShawn McCoy, I was watching him interview or whatever, and he was saying like Dan Orlovsky's just he likes Sam Darnold because he's relatable to Sam Darnold. Dan Orlovsky was really not nothing, in the NFL, but like he likes a quarterback story like this, and like it makes
Yeah,
sense. Dan Orlovsky's relatable to Sam Darnold. If Dan Orlovsky's career
that was a shot,
came like
bro.
that, it is what it is.
Sh- Shady McCoy's a fool for that. That was an absolute shot he took
It,
at
I
Dan
mean,
Orlovsky there.
he's not really that wrong.
He's basically like, hey, they're both kind of losers, so they kind of get it. They kind of get it. That's
Darnold's a
basically what he
million
said.
times
But
better than Orlovsky for sure, but you can't put Darnold in these conversations with Jalen Hurts when it comes to like quarterbacks who are kind of like in the top 10, but you could argue against the top 10. Brock Purdy, you can argue that he's against like that he's not in the top 10, but he is, but like you don't put Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold really from what Brock Purdy's accomplished so far and what Sam Darnold has accomplished so far. I don't think it's on the same metric. So for me, I would give Brock Purdy over Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence, that's even a tight one. I just because of the body of work. But yeah,
Trevor
dang,
Lawrence, what?
I don't know. I don't know if I would give him
How did you just sneak his name in there with the conversation compared to Sam Darnold? I think that's a bit disrespectful,
because
no?
from what he's done this past year, and this is his best stretch of football.
Yeah, but we're kind
I
of
don't
doing
know.
like
Is
the
it?
whole like
Is it?
we're doing with Sam
Trevor
Darnold. I feel
Lawrence.
like we're doing. I
Trevor
feel like
Lawrence
we're
has a
doing the
playoff win.
whole.
He's won his
Yeah, Trevor
division.
Lawrence has one. Yes.
He
Yeah,
has a
but
playoff
with
win.
the Seahawks, like I feel with Sam Darnold, like hey, he deserves a little bit of praise. I get it, like he's done very well. But like this is almost like the Bo Nix situation where we're like trying to look past like the fact that it's that you know what on the show last night. I'm assuming
That's
you're
what I'm
watching
saying.
because
That's
of
why Trevor Lawrence,
what
I
you said
think, would
about
you
Shady
can
McCoy.
argue that Trevor Lawrence is ahead of Darnold. That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, 100%, 100%. We can name 10 quarterbacks over Sam Darnold, I think easily, and that's no offense to Sam Darnold. He's just a product of success in his system. Now, like they said yesterday on the Shady McCoy show, I apologize for not knowing the name. You know it, yeah.
Speak easy.
Speakeasy, yeah. What they said yesterday. I did actually tune in for the first time to that show, JB. So shout out to you for kind of introducing me to that
I
show.
watch it like
Speakeasy is
almost
actually
every
kind of
night.
funny.
Watch it
It's
every
pretty
night.
funny. I ain't gonna lie.
You know who would be a good spot? You know who would be a good spot in Care Bear spot?
Who?
Nate Reyes.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one.
That'd be a good spot for him.
Nate would be a dog.
Yeah.
But I was watching last night for the first time and they're funny, bro.
Yeah.
I low key I I'm not a Shady McCoy fan just because of the way he acts sometimes, and it's just biased, right? It's just me and the fact that
Definitely.
he talks about Philly so heavy, blah blah, kind of shits on Dak, blah blah, all that good stuff. But Shady McCoy is hilarious, and the one thing that I learned just watching him yesterday is yeah, that's just Shady McCoy. No filter. Like, just lets it rip. Whatever comes to his head, lets it rip. There was a moment in that show yesterday where Emmanuel Acha's trying to defend Josh Allen. But
Yeah.
I really didn't understand
With
what he
the
was doing. It felt like he just got lost in his brain and kind of like he was trying to weave himself through and ended up sounding kind of like an idiot somewhat. But it was funny just watching Shady McCoy's face because he's just like, bro, come on, we can't do this whole because he was
yeah.
talking about Josh Allen having to be like a generational talent, how they have a chance, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
ultimately, I think we all agree that Josh Allen, I know there's a lot of pressure on him to win a Super Bowl this year, but this is also the worst team. He's the worst roster he's had. Not to make an excuse for Josh Allen already, because he should still make a run. He should at least get past the first round if you're that good of a quarterback. But ultimately, like, we can't just look past the fact that this guy has absolutely nobody. Sure, he has the leading rusher at running back in James Cook, but outside of that, there's nothing to be concerned about over there, JB. I think I saw yesterday Mina Kimes on X tweeted, "This is the 28th ranked rush defense in the league,
Yeah.
followed by the 17th ranked passing defense in the league." Like, I don't know, I don't know if Buffalo is going to be able to manage Jacksonville in ETN, because we've seen two sides of Jacksonville. We've seen them be able to run the ball, and we've seen Trevor Lawrence being able to take over games. So I don't think it's I don't think it's easy sledding for Josh Allen.
No, for sure. For sure. But I think his point all along was like all these other guys, all these other greats didn't have excuses. There was every excuse you could have made for these guys, but they still got the job done. So it's like Josh Allen, he's a great quarterback. And if he wins a Super Bowl, he could go down as a top 5, 10 quarterback of all time. So, like, I think that's his point that he was trying to make. You can have all these excuses. These great players have excuses, but what are you going to do with it? Like, you can use all this stuff as an excuse, or you can overcome it and just be
Let's
great. Win.
put a bookmark on that, JB, because
Yeah.
that we got to get back to that Josh Allen conversation. But while we do that, we're gonna take a break real quick and go over to the college football world as we introduce our alum from UNM, former D1 athlete, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Foley. Tim, morning, bro.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
How's this New Year's been treating you so far?
It's good. Can't complain. It's we're about 6 days in, and not too much has changed yet. But I'll be working on those New Year's resolutions here soon. But did you guys
Yeah.
have anything?
No, my New Year's resolution is probably the same thing that it is every year, and it's like I'm gonna get in shape this year. I am going to lift my best this year, and so far, it's been a solid start. We've had the wheels turning, getting my 30 minutes in. It's been solid. I'm trying to get my 2 miles down to about 15 minutes right now. I'm sitting at 18. That's kind of rough. That's an average of 9 minutes per mile. I'm trying to get that bad boy around 7:30 back to like when I was in peak high school shape. What's your New Year's revolution, JB? You got one?
No, dude, just it's always like based on like my health and my goals and things like that with what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I haven't got off to the best start this year. Like, I haven't even been to the gym this year yet. So, it is what it is. But
Well, you know
I'll
what,
get back on
JB?
track.
Today's the day.
Yeah,
Today's a beautiful
yeah.
day to accomplish a bunch of shit that you had your eyes set on. Today is the perfect day to get the ball rolling. Tim, you got one
I do.
that you'd like to
It's
share?
more. Yeah, it's more like the health thing as well too, and also reading more books this year. I listened to a decent amount of books last year, but I want to read more and like obviously sometimes listening to it through it on Audible is a little bit easier when I'm driving, but just want to expand that library a little bit more.
Nice. My sister introduced me to setting up a bingo card, which I would encourage you guys to do because it's kind of cool to see what you kind of get done throughout the year. If you notice right there, there's my little bingo card there. So you kind of fill it out on things that you want to accomplish, and it could be simple things to difficult things. Last year, I only highlighted
five blocks. I got close to a bingo, didn't quite get one, and it's kind of dumb because at the end of the year, I'm like, damn, how did I not do that? Like something as simple as walking my dog consistently for 2 weeks straight. And if you stick to it, it's like if you miss a day, then you got to start over, right? So ultimately, like for example, if you say I'm gonna run 5 times a week, but you never check it off. But if you ultimately end up running 4 or 3 times a week, like you still kind of reap the benefits of trying to accomplish that goal. But I would encourage you guys to do it. And then with our friends with Malcolm and Brandy, Borba, you're familiar with them. Um, with them, we have this bet that if you get a blackout, all of us have to give the person $50, so you would get $150. And then if you get a bingo, uh, our group has to do whatever that person that got a bingo wants to do for an entire day. So the girls, if we want to go golf for an entire day, the girls got to kind of caddy for the boys if we wanted to. That's what's up to stake. Just a little bit of motivation. But yeah, you guys should maybe fill out a bingo card today and let's start moving the wheels, JB. Let's start accomplishing shit little by little. Small goals are the best goals sometimes. But Tim, let's get into the college football world. We got some massive games starting off with Thursday, then the game on Friday, and then football playoffs on Saturday, and football playoffs on Sunday, and football playoffs on Monday. We're just filled with hell of playoff games this week, but it's amazing. It's a beautiful slate. Tim, let's go straight into it. On Thursday, we're going to have Ole Miss against Miami. There's been a bunch of conversations about Ole Miss because, of course, Lane Kiffin keeping his head in the conversation somehow with the transfer portal and everything going on. What's the latest news on Ole Miss and their offensive coaches? Are they being pulled? Are they going to be staying throughout the rest of the season if they continue to win, or how's it go? How's it looking for Ole Miss?
Yeah, there's still some kind of back and forth on that. A lot of people are talking about how Lane Kiffin is allowing Ole Miss to be able to have this deep run into the playoffs, which is a little bit absurd. I mean, but he is allowing those assistant coaches that he is taking with him to help them during this. I don't think he really thought that they'd be going this deep into the playoffs, so he thought he was kind of doing like a good measure to the players because he always wants to do it the what's best for the players, or so he says. And so he's allowing those coaches to be there. I think that he thought that last week would have been there. Last game together, he would be able to get those coaches. So there is a little bit of back and forth. I don't know if they don't have like a definite who's staying and who's going or when they will be leaving. But there is a lot of sour minds in Oxford whenever you bring up the name Lane Kiffin. So he is definitely not loved over there anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, and when Leighton Kiffin, I g- I wonder if this is a little concerning. Like, I wonder how players are starting to look at him because I know. So here in a second, we're going to talk about Texas Tech and their whole recruiting and the billboard in New York and stuff. But that gentleman, he was supposed to meet with LSU and ended up signing with Texas Tech. Also, it looks like Ole Miss has they re. I This is so weird saying this, but they re-signed. Um, their QB Trinidad, who is going to come back next year pending eligibility. Is there some level of concern on how players are starting to look at Lane Kiffin, like to think that his former quarterback isn't going to transfer from him, and then the top quarterback telling LSU no, and then siding with Texas Tech? Do you think there's some type of level of concern to that?
A little bit. And another one you haven't, which was kind of just breaking news within last night, is also the running back Kawan Lacey has signed to stay with Ole Miss. Everyone thought Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey would be leaving to go to LSU with Lane Kiffin, and that didn't happen. Arguably one of the best running backs in the country, and then obviously you guys saw from last week how great Trinidad Chambliss can be. Even last year this guy was playing in a D2 national championship. Now he's leading a Division One team to a national championship as well. Everyone thought that was going to happen, and like you said, that is pending. If he does get that year, they are filing to get that extra year. So it's not a for sure thing yet, but it does say something about the kids. There are a number of kids that kind of do that are making money decisions. That there was a quarterback who was going to be transferring somewhere, and then Kentucky gave him a blank check, and he left at the last second to go play for Kentucky. So there are some players that are making those money motivated decisions, but the players that want to win and build a program, you can see are not trying to go over to Lane Kiffin. And what's even more wild is a lot of these players are players that have played for him. So you would think that a lot of times when a coach leaves, he's going to bring a good amount of players with him because they just want to go play for that coach, and it doesn't seem to be that way with Lane Kiffin right now.
And because of the success that they've had lately, like, is there a chance that maybe the offensive coordinators or that offensive staff at Ole Miss doesn't leave at all? Because that's still not just signed, sealed, and delivered, right? There's still a possibility. I mean, there's that door's still open.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the problem is you're trying to talk people into staying in Oxford, Mississippi, as opposed to LSU, and LSU is such a historic program, and even just to say you were a coach there on your resume, it brings it up a few levels. So I think it would take something crazy like winning this national championship and then getting significantly more money to stay at Ole Miss than to leave at LSU. Anything is up in the air right now. I mean, people are even talking about Lane Kiffin possibly being the president of Venezuela at this point. So anything is up in the air.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, JB, let me ask you this. So, give me your perspective here. So, Lane Kiffin takes the job to LSU midseason to go chase national championships, but as what we've seen, potentially has a championship roster on his hand. If Ole Miss were to go on and win a championship, like, how do you think Lane Kiffin looks like an idiot, or do you think that it all gets washed out if he goes and wins the championship at LSU?
I don't know if you'd call him an idiot because like you're going into
Well, if
LSU
he
and you're going
doesn't
to be
win, then you
making
would, right?
buku money in LSU. You know what I mean? So like he's making a decision that I think works for him as far as like a coaching opportunity at a big school like LSU. The money's there. I think you got everything lined up. You know, Ole Miss has a good squad though, and I don't know. I just think for the opportunity that presented itself, I think he took advantage of it. You know, LSU is a good place to coach.
It just feels like it's crazy to me. Matt Ishba, he's the Suns owner. The one thing that I listened to him speak quite a bit, and one thing that stuck out to me that he says is that money follows success. And I think that if you were to stay at Ole Miss and won a championship, which hey, it's still up for grabs. Like, could they do it? And what's crazy is if they do it, like that story is way more insane. The fact that their head coach left them going into the playoffs and whatnot, but to me, that's as true. That's as true as it gets. Success follows money. If he wins at Ole Miss, man, his legacy is, I think, greater than what he will do at LSU. Because if he never wins a championship at LSU, I mean, that's a massive stain on his name, in my opinion. Wouldn't you agree, Tim?
Yes and no. I mean, to answer your first question about him being stupid, he can. I mean, he might be stupid, but he'll be laughing all the way to the bank. The way his contract is set up is, if Ole Miss wins this national championship, he gets $1 million bonus from Ole Miss, even though he's not coaching there. And actually, it's not going to be from Ole Miss. It's going to be from LSU, but they're matching those incentives that Ole Miss would have given him. So I think in his contract at Ole Miss, if he would have won the national championship, he gets $1 million bonus. LSU is going to give him that bonus if Ole Miss does win that national championship. He put that into his contract. And honestly,
Greed,
I don't.
greed, greed.
I Yeah, and I don't see Ole Miss winning this national championship. It's been a great story, but Indiana is just by far the best team in the country, and I don't see them getting to that point. But and also at LSU, I mean, it also depends on how long they're going to give him. I mean, a lot of new coaches, they talk about a 5 year plan. What is his plan moving forward? If he's talking about within 5 years will be in a national championship, then they might give him those 5 years. We'll see. I mean, with him turning around that program and then being a national championship in the first 2 seasons, I don't see that happening, especially with they're not really lighting up the transfer portal right now. But we'll see. They will not be in the national championship in for a little bit, but Lane Kiffin hasn't even played in a national championship game either. So I mean, we're sitting here doing these what ifs, and he's never even been there before. So
Yeah, so we got to relax. We got to pump the brakes on how great we think Lane Kiffin is. It's just he's a hot girl with the BBL right now. That's what it seems like, right? That's all. That's all he is. He's something nice to look at. That's what it feels like for Lane Kiffin. Just a good looking person, I guess. But well, not him, but you get what I'm trying to say there. JV's like, yo,
Sure,
where are you going with this?
sure, dude.
But tell us about this game, Miami versus Ole Miss. What are our expectations? Is Miami's defense going to be just too much for Ole Miss?
I think Miami's defensive line is going to be a lot for Ole Miss. They're a great football team. A lot of people didn't even expect them to be this far. I believe Miami's 3.5 point favorites. I think it's the same for the Indiana game as well. Indiana's 3.5 point favorites. Um, I, I, I th- I think that it's going to be a very close game. I mean, last week with the Ole Miss Georgia game, I mean that was one of the best college football games of the entire year, and it was phenomenal. And I was watching it. I was a little hesitant, not hesitant to watch it, but the first two games that day kind of weren't that great. I mean, it's college football playoffs, so it's going to be must watch. But they weren't very good games. And then the Ole Miss Georgia game was back and forth the entire time. Went all the way to the end. You see how good Trinidad Chambliss is at extending the play on broken plays, and really he's the one that won in that football game. It was funny to watch them. I'm not sure if you guys had seen it, but people were talking about the hardest working people of that whole game were the people that were taking the stage on and off the field. They had to do that like three separate times there at the end of the game. But it was a phenomenal football game. I expect this one to be just as good. Um, it really is up in the air, man. But I think Miami is going to win this football game. What This is a historic semifinals. I mean, this is the only college. This is the first college football playoff ever when the semifinals didn't include Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, or Clemson. Also, all four of these teams that are still in. Only Miami's the only school that has ever won a national championship. And that was back in 2001 with that dominant team. And the other three have never won a national championship. Oregon has played in a national championship game. I believe it was the very first ever college football playoff national championship game, but they did lose. Um, so this is going to be historic. Whoever wins this, a lot of people are talking about is Miami back as well too, and I don't think it's definitely not the 2001 Miami team, which was the last time they won a national championship. That team also has that crazy stat. I'm sure you guys have seen it at one point, but that 2001 Miami team, if their offense never scored a touchdown that entire season, that team would have still went 8-4 with how
That's
many
wild.
touchdowns that their defense and their special teams scored throughout that year. They were undefeated, and it was they're arguably one of the best college football teams ever. It's not that same Miami team that's going to be taking this field. They are a great football team. It's going to all depend on the trenches. Can their defensive line really stop that run game and force Ole Miss to have to and force Trinidad Chambliss to have to stay in the pocket and make decisions. That's really going to be the key to this game.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, real quick, Matt Eberflus, JB, has been fired as the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't mean to clap
Couldn't
for
wait
him,
to
but
say
good luck,
that.
Matt Eberflus, trying to get another
Praying
job.
before he
Good
goes
luck.
to bed every night for Eberflus to be fired every night.
It
Says
needed
one
it
little
needed to
prayer.
happen. And it finally happened, 7:14 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Adam Schefter just reported on ESPN. Dallas Cowboys have moved on from Matt Eberflus. I don't know if that's a blessing from the football gods, but it's a blessing from someone. So good luck to you, Matt Eberflus, on your next journey or on your college football stint. But it's a happy day to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. This means that there's progression. So my Delulu brain is going to start working its way, and then we'll get there around April, and then this summer we'll kind of chill out because of World Cup, and then come September, I might be as delusional as ever. But Tim, let's move on to uh, Oregon Ducks, 13-1, number 5, playing number 1 Indiana Hoosiers. Probably the best story in college football story. This is if there was a Cinderella story to be told, this would be the one alongside Ole Miss. But man, Fernando Mendoza, what a guy! It's hard to not like him. It's hard not to like this team in general. This has got the most family feel to any team in my opinion in the playoffs. But what should we expect from this game, Tim?
Yeah, so we're looking at the same type of spread. Indiana's 3.5 point favorites. This is going to be a rematch. They actually Indiana beat Oregon in Eugene 30-20 back in October. It was a phenomenal football game, and it went all the way to the wire. I expect this one to be the exact same. Indiana, I expect Indiana to win this football game, and the reason why is they have been lights out this entire football
Too
season.
good.
They gave Bama their worst loss in 27 years, a very historic football team. They're the only top four team since the 12 team playoffs to reach it to the semifinals. They're actually the only, yeah, I mean, they're the only top four seed team to even win a game in the college football playoffs. Um, Out of these last 2 years, they
Yeah.
have the opportunity to be the first team to ever be 16-0 in college football. And it's not because they're the best team, but it's because teams have not played 16 games in the past. But people don't go a lot of people don't go undefeated the entire football season. And another thing that people are talking about, they've kind of been overlooked all season long, and quite so. I mean, it is one of the craziest stories to go from the most losing program in college football history to possibly being the first 16-0 team ever with a Heisman winner at under center. And they've beat 7 teams this season that are 9 wins or more, which a lot of people are
Is
overlooking.
that
So
good?
they're not playing they're not playing crappy teams. I mean half of your schedule being 9 win teams or above, there's nobody else doing that. And so they're winning, and they're winning against quality teams. And I don't see that. I don't see Oregon stopping them from doing that. And Kurt Signetti is just this man is going to be the next Bear Bryant, Nick Saban. I mean, everyone's talking about Nick Saban right now because he's new, he's freshly retired. We're seeing him on College Game Day, but I think in about 10 to 15 years, we're going to be saying the same thing about Kurt Signetti.
Yeah, Kurt Signetti right now being his name is being attached to head coaching jobs in the NFL. The one more specific is the Las Vegas Raiders, where Fernando Mendoza may possibly be drafted to this offseason. So hey, Sig's fun. He's cool. He's likable. He's a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant. Depends on what side of the ball you're on, but a dog in my opinion. So Tim, who's winning both of these games? Give me your official pick.
I have Indiana and Miami winning these games.
Indiana and Miami. Tim's picks to be in the finals for the college football playoffs. Tim, last one before we let you go. Texas Tech's got all the money in the world, all that old money, and is probably about to get even. They're about to get a little more money after this whole stuff happening in the political world, but that's a whole nother conversation. But Texas Tech, man, they're so rich right now that they went ahead and slapped a billboard up in New York to flaunt their new signing, former Cincinnati quarterback who's now signing with the Texas Tech Red Raiders for $5 million. That's insane. Just to put a little context to what that looks like, Shador's rookie contract is 4.5 mil in the NFL, and this gentleman will get five mil for 1 year to take his talents to Lubbock, Texas. What's your reaction to that?
This is a great pickup for Texas Tech. I mean, this is what they were missing. Uh, Putting up that goose egg in the quarterfinals is not something that they were wanting to do. Their defense played very well considering, um, but they were missing that playmaker at quarterback. I think if they were there's a handful of quarterbacks that they could have gone for, DJ Lagway, and a few others. But I think that they picked the correct guy. He wants to be there. He wants to be in Lubbock. I think he called Patrick Mahomes to tell him he was coming to, and then that just shows the money that's behind the program. I mean, to buy a billboard in New York, a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, don't even know where Texas Tech probably is. So they're looking up at that, like, did New York get a new college football team, or
Yeah.
what's going on? But but it
Who's
just
this
goes
guy?
to show it just goes to show the money that they have at that program, and the backing they're putting behind Brendan Shoresby. I mean, he has the world on his shoulders, and they're going to expect him to take them further than where they went this year.
Yeah, my favorite thing is the whole when he comes out and says that he's going to choose Texas Tech, and he's like, "Yeah, the facilities, the game plan." It's like, bro, shut up. $5 million got you over there. You don't have to try to lie to us. We know what this is. Come on now. But the pressure on Texas Tech is at an absolute maximum. The money. This is one thing that me and JB have been kind of saying throughout the years. Like, you can spend all the money in the world, but if you don't get the right guys in the locker room, then what is it worth? What is it worth? Look what Signetti's been able to accomplish without that bankroll. So it just goes to show, if you don't have the right guys, you don't have the right guys. And is the head coach the right head coach? I don't know, to be determined. But they did have success this previous year, and I'm assuming they're going to be in a similar position next year. It's just, can they get over the hump at this point? Anything else you'd like to let us know, Tim, before we let you go?
No, it's gonna be great. Some great games this week. I mean, we have very good football from Thursday to Monday. So if nobody's busy, just turn the TV on and go watch some great football.
Hey man, Tim, who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl, I'm gonna pick for Josh Allen has been needing it. He's not gonna have to go through Patrick Mahomes this year, so it's his time, man. There's no more excuses. He doesn't have to go through Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. It's set up for him. So I'm hoping that they're able to do that, be able to play one more game in their stadium before they tear it down, and we'll see. But I
All right.
think the Bills could do it.
Tim loves a good love story. That's what that tells me right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Foley. Thanks, Tim. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Story, Borba, and right away we could just stay exactly there as we were talking about before Tim came on the Emmanuel Acho conversation about Josh Allen. You were saying that you were trying to explain what Emmanuel Acho was trying to explain yesterday, which is fill me in real quick here.
Pretty much, there's all these other greats have had excuses, right? But they still
Yeah.
got the job done. When he kind of compared it to Michael Jordan in the flu game, still put up freaking a great game, win the game. Um, there's a multitude of reasons that you could give
He's
Josh
he
Allen.
just to put some context real quick. Emmanuel Acho is basically saying Josh Allen doesn't have an excuse if you're made of greatness. If you're great, you do great things, which is true. But whenever he was given his examples of great situations, there was always
Yeah,
another great attached to that name, which is where you could see the annoyance in LaShawn McCoy's face, and I had it too because my thing is like we can't prop up like I don't want to make excuses for Josh Allen because to me, I think you should at least win one playoff game. If you're that elite, you can at least win one game. You can get away with one
well, the
because
thing
this.
is,
The, go ahead.
I think if you get over the Jaguars, which is one of the hottest teams right now, if you can get over that, I think you can. I think you can honestly make it.
It
Why
looks.
not?
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't
Like
look too bad
anything looks winnable. And then what LaShawn McCoy
till it
what
doesn't.
he was trying to prove is just like, okay, you got one guy, right? You got the great Josh Allen, and this. Um, when he compared Michael Jordan, he's like, okay, Michael Jordan still had Scottie Pippen and these guys. Like, you're great, but you have other things around you. That's what makes you great. That's what even elevates you. That was his argument to
And,
it. Like, and all you
and Josh
have,
Allen
all you can
doesn't.
say about Josh Allen is really you got James Cook. Other than James
That's it.
Cook, you really don't have nobody offensively. You got some decent tight ends. You got some decent names, but it's
Dalton
just how they
Connect.
play against them right now. What?
Yeah, I don't. I don't like the way it looks for the Bills. And let's go ahead and while we're on the
Tough.
Bills, let's go ahead. Let's get back to our list here, JB, as we fill this out. So right now we just finished the NFC. Let's finish the AFC before we let these beautiful people get off to work. So let's start off with the Bills. Where would you put the Bills? To me, I'm putting the Bills under who they would surprise me if they got there.
Yeah, it'd be a surprise.
Actually, honestly, it would shock me.
Really?
Yeah, because when you look at this team, like we have to like think about when you're trying to defend the Bills. Like immediately, first we have to acknowledge the Bills roster, I think. I think you have to tell yourself, like, defensively, this team didn't get better in the offseason. They didn't.
You
They
got a
didn't
lot of
get
injuries. A lot of injuries defensively.
for sure. But is that window closed? It's like they're trying to. It's like a mini rebuild without realizing that it's a mini rebuild that's happening in Buffalo. Honestly, that's really what it feels like. And the reason that it doesn't look like a rebuild, sorry, is because Josh Allen is that talented, and that's what
Yeah,
sucks
but
sometimes is
who
that
did
these
who did who
QBs
did,
kind of.
who did Mahomes have when Mahomes made a Super Bowl a couple years ago when they won? Who was his wide receivers? Who was his
Are you
running
talking
back?
about with Tyreek Hill or with Travis
No,
Kelsey,
no.
Isaiah Pacheco,
Yeah, who's his running back?
Kareem Hunt,
Nobody.
Kareem Hunt?
That's not a respectable run game. They haven't had a run game in years. They haven't had a
Come on, they've
respectable
had it.
run game in years.
They've
And
been
who are their wide
able
receivers?
to run the ball.
Who are their wide receivers? A couple years ago when they won.
Oh, you got Travis Kelsey.
That's it.
Uh,
It was him and Travis Kelsey in that offense.
was Rashid Rice there yet?
No.
You sure?
He might have been a rookie, but that ain't nothing. He didn't put up great numbers his rookie year. It was just potential at that point. You didn't have Xavier Worthy yet. You had like Valdez Scantling. You had
Oh,
don't even
Juju,
know. Don't even know.
Juju, Super Bowl champ.
Oh,
Relax.
yeah, you had Juju Smith Schuster, I think. Maybe. I don't even know if you had him yet. But you had nobody. It was him and Travis Kelsey, and then you had the defense.
Yeah, but
Josh Allen just doesn't have the
they had a
defense.
very respectable defense.
Yeah, Josh Allen just doesn't have that defense. But if
Yeah,
that defense
exactly.
can step up, then why not? Why not?
Yeah, but we're doing the if the defense can step up, like we could do that for the Jags, who are top 10 in defense overall.
12th.
12th. Yeah, right outside the box. With the
But
top.
I'm just saying, it could be enough. It could be enough. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it is going to be enough.
You're telling me you wouldn't be surprised. Or
Yeah,
you
because it's Josh
surprised,
Allen.
but you wouldn't be
Josh
shocked.
Allen is the quarterback that I would trust the most out of all these guys.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that. I'll go with you on that one. So surprised, they would surprise me if they got there,
Could be a
but
shock.
sort of kind of not really. But I don't think they could just flat out win it. I don't think so.
No.
All right, next team, JB. Let's go with
I'll go with you can go with the Steelers. Absolutely no chance.
oh, okay. That was a quick.
Absolutely no chance.
All right, Steelers. I'm gonna put that in all caps for you. Steelers, absolutely no chance.
No shot.
Yikes. All
They
right,
just
what else we got?
compared to the other teams, they just
Houston.
don't stand a chance. Houston, they can win it. With their roster, they can win it. CJ Stroud, his third playoff appearance 3 years in a row. Why not? He's got the experience. Now you got to start winning these games, and he turns up in the playoffs. So I think they might be able to make a run. I think they can win it.
Texans. What about Chargers?
I'm gonna say no chance. I would put no chance in there, just because that
And
offense
that's not necessarily a shot. It's just it's the injuries. It's
the
almost
injury.
like a similar situation to the 49ers.
Can't have a beat
Which
up O
honestly,
line.
you could. Yeah, and really, I don't know if the defense is quite there.
Defense is good. They're not great, but they're solid. They're a good unit for sure.
Are they any better than the Bills defense at
Yes,
this
they
point?
are. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
significantly better. Yes,
Okay.
they're like a top 12 defense too, I think.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they're a good defense. Maybe top 15, but they're a
All
good
right, I like
defense.
it. I like it. Okay, what
Yeah.
about the Jags? Where do we sit with the Jags?
Jags.
Bro, I think so.
I think they can win it. I mean, I don't know if they can win a Super Bowl. I would be surprised if they made it there, but I don't know if they can win it.
Okay, so you're putting them in you would be surprised. Man, bro, I think they can though. I think they can, but I don't know if I'm just high on the fact that, the
They might
eight
be
game
able. I
winning
mean,
streak.
they possibly can.
Trevor Lawrence not having no turnovers, like he's
But
taking
then if
care of the ball.
yeah,
Like
you're okay. Let me retract that. So, like, if I'm giving the Texans a chance to win, I think they can get there. I don't know if they can win it like the Texans. So, I guess you could put the Jags in that same can win a Super Bowl. I just don't know. They can get there, but can they win it? That's my thing.
all right. I think they can though. I honestly
They
think they
could.
can.
They could.
Yeah, definitely. Okay,
Depends
so
on the
now
matchup.
let's go. Who else we got?
We got
Patriots.
the Patriots, and then of course, so the Patriots. That's a tough one too, man.
They honestly, it would surprise me. And it's
See, for
not.
all
It's
these
it,
teams, it would surprise me.
I'm gonna put Broncos and I'm gonna put the Broncos. I mean, tell me if you agree with me. Broncos and Patriots. I'm gonna put them
I would
on
put
what
Broncos
surprised
in the
me.
shock. Broncos would shock me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think if Bo Nix has one of those bad games, it's a very bad game. So I think that would shock me. Because I put Caleb Williams and Bo Nix in the same category. Just about. Just about. Almost. I have a little bit more faith almost in Caleb Williams. Because when Bo Nix plays bad, he plays really bad. Caleb Williams
Yeah.
doesn't turn the ball over hardly. Like when he plays bad, it's just with Caleb Williams, it's inconsistent. He misses the easy throws. He's still inaccurate. So that's my thing.
Yeah.
Dang man, and then the Patriots, that would surprise me. But like for all those teams, for all the teams in the AFC, it would surprise me. So like I could retract that and say Texans and Jags would surprise me. I could put both of those teams in the surprise me category, you know?
You want me to move them?
Yeah.
I just think that if you have
We're
the
going by that
Seahawks
logic
in
because the
if you
Patriots
have
have
the
just
Seahawks there,
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm thinking about the Seahawks too. It would surprise me because of Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold's in the same category as his CJ Stroud, as a Trevor Lawrence, as a Drake May. 100%. So I think I would move the Seahawks over as well, as would surprise me. So you got the Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Patriots. Those all would surprise me. 49ers and Bills.
the Texans surprise you?
I think that yes. Can they make it? Yes. Would it surprise me? Yes. It would it would be a surprise. 100% of what you're dealing with in the AFC. And then the
There's
Seahawks are
there's
built.
no one in the AFC, so you don't think the winner's coming out the AFC.
No, ultimately no. They could though. That's why I say it would surprise me. That's the whole point. Like the teams that you have favorited to win the Super Bowl, that's these are the favorites, the Rams and the Eagles, right?
Okay.
Rams and the Eagles
Yep.
are the favorites. That's who a lot of money's on, blah blah. That's probably the odds are the Rams and the Eagles. Any of these other teams in the surprise me category are all built the same way except the Bills. Literally, they're the
Can we
same teams. You could exclude the 49ers out of that. But like
can
I
I put them
still
on would shock
still
me?
because of the 49ers, I think because of what they have, their roster, it's just the defense. Like I would still put the 49ers as a surprise me team. I wouldn't take them out. I don't think it would shock me just because
No,
of
with
what you
all
got
the
off the
injuries
field.
that they have,
And if
like missing Fred Warner and
but he could come back.
Bosa, like you don't think
He could come back. I mean, I guess you
they
could
got to
put it
get to the
as a
NFC
shock.
Championship?
I guess you could put it as a
Honestly, to
shock.
me, the 49ers would only shock me because it feels like they would be running on just straight adrenaline, straight straight help me out here. Boom, boom, boom. Momentum. It would
Like
just be like
momentum.
it would be one of
You're
those
just
like
talking about
Cinderella runs from the 49ers because of all the injuries that they had. Like, think about that, bro. They got their two best players on defense missing. They got a drama queen that won't show up to practice or to anything at the facilities in Brandon Ayuk. Like you're
they don't
missing
need him.
three of your your key players.
They don't
Like,
need
think
Ayuk.
about that, bro.
The defense they
No,
do
I
need.
understand you don't need Ayuk, but I'm just saying, like, if you were able to have that addition to your team, let's just say it wasn't Brandon Ayuk. Let's say it was just a stud wide receiver. If you were able to add that, because they have that on their roster, they have that on
Brandon.
their books, JB, and they don't have that talent out there. To me, it would shock me if the 49ers got to the Super Bowl.
The only thing that would the 49ers just won't make the Super Bowl because the defense is going to give up too many points at the end of the day. So I can understand why it's a shock. But all these other teams as a surprise, they're all built the same way, excluding the Bills. They play good defense. It's just inconsistent quarterback play. It's unproven, inconsistent quarterback play. And that's what they all are. All these dudes are inconsistent quarterbacks. Patriots, yeah, Drake May's having an MVP season, but I'm going off of his body of work. Last year, he was a very inconsistent quarterback. We didn't know what he was going to be. So, this is his first playoff game. So, CJ shot, same thing. Seahawks, of course, same thing with Darnold. Jags, of course, we've seen Trevor Lawrence be awful, claimed as a bust, but now he's carrying that team on his back. So
Now
it's
he's back.
inconsistent. The body of work is all inconsistent with these guys, besides Josh Allen. He just doesn't have a defense
Yeah. Well,
or
this is
that
our
wide
list,
receiver
JB.
wall.
This is our Super Bowl chart on who can absolutely get to the Super Bowl. Who would surprise us? Who would absolutely shock us? And then JB told us absolutely no chance. Packers, Panthers, Steelers, Chargers. But we appreciate your participation in entertaining our eyes. JB, before we let everybody go, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, man. I've already said it all.
Today's a great day to be great, right, JB? Today's a great day to get the wheels turning. Maybe we had a little setback to start the beginning of the year. Well, today is a perfect day to have a great day, right, JB?
Yep. Exactly.
So let's have one. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It was fun filling out this board. Maybe we fill out a different board tomorrow, JB. But
Might as well.
let's have a hell of a day. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See ya. Yeah, we always know.